back to my channel. I'm back with another astrology oracle reading for you for the week of April 18th. And as always, I have created an event / natal chart for this reading of 11:11 a.m. in Dayton, Ohio. And this gives us a late Aries sun. We are just about entering into Taurus season here at 28 degrees of that sun. We also have a Scorpio moon and a Cancer rising. So let's just spread these out and see where the storyline takes us today. All right. So as always, whenever I'm looking for a card to pull, I'm really focusing on something that is either lifted or kind of an obscure angle. And I'm seeing it here with this one. So let's see what we have. Interesting. Taurus, which the mantra is, I have. That's kind of funny. I like that. So Taurus, we actually have a couple planets in Taurus right now. And as I mentioned, we are slowly but surely inching towards Taurus season, the solar season, meaning that the sun will be in the sign of Taurus for approximately 30 days. So let's just get into a little bit about Taurus to start with. Taurus is related to Venus. It is an earth sign, and it's really focused on money, security, values, and within money and security, that can also be how you earn money and build security for yourself. And it can also have a lot to do with just your sense of security from your upbringing in your childhood. Because of its relation to Venus and its very sensory expression, Taurus is known for indulgence, right? It's known for burning really beautiful smelling candles and taking a luxurious bath and having a lovely meal and a decadent cup of coffee. Taurus is all about the finer things in life. Now, that doesn't necessarily make them vain. It just means that, they know what they like, and I respect that. I have so many Taurus moons in my life. This is something that I've mentioned before on the channel. So many Taurus moons in my life. So I always love talking about Taurus because to me, this is very grounding energy. And funny enough, I'm wearing all neutrals, very earthy vibes going on here today. So I like that. In the chart here, as I mentioned, we do still have the sun in Aries, but it's at 28 degrees. We only reach 29 degrees before we then set over and ingress into a new sign at 0 degrees. So it looks like by the time we make it to Wednesday, we'll be fully ingressed into Taurus season. So we're currently experiencing kind of a passing over of those energies, right? That switch between fiery Martian Aries and Venusian earthy Taurus. It's quite a significant change, but it builds a lot of stability, and sustainability is a really great word to use with Taurus as well. If you're needing to get outside, although today it's snowing here in Dayton, this is a really great reminder that you should sometimes just step outside and explore the luxuries of nature, right? It doesn't always have to be a nice decadent chocolate cake. It can also just be that deliciously relaxing feeling of sinking your feet into some nice soft grass, right? Also very Taurus. So we currently have, as I mentioned, a few planets in Taurus. One is very important, and this is Uranus. I've actually covered a little bit in the past this Uranus and Taurus transit, which we've been under now since I believe 2018. I could be wrong on that, so please don't hold me to it. But anyway, Uranus is a planet we typically associate with Aquarius. It's all about revolution, change, social structures, as well as technology and the internet. And, in Taurus, not its favorite place to be, right? There's not a lot of innovating and going out there and things. Definitely there's a lot of feeling through the world and experiencing your world in a very material way with Taurus. But that's not what Uranus wants, right? It wants something electric and airy, like Aquarius is. So here in this particular sign, Uranus has been experiencing a lot of change. I mean, look at what we've been through for the last couple of years. Even thinking of the pandemic and how we've all been kind of forced to give up our freedoms and stay at home in some capacity. And when I say give up our freedoms, I mean the freedom to go about into the world without concern, which is not something we've been able to do, right? There's that challenging, that need for Uranus to go out and break free and do something different and new. And Taurus is like, let's sit back a little and wait and see what happens. So it's not been the most comfortable energy, but I will link some more information in the show notes below about that particular transit that we're going through. In addition to that, we, again, will soon be having the sun here, but we currently have Mercury here. Mercury in Taurus. This is a great, great opportunity when you have this planet in this sign to start thinking about your finances. Start planning, your trips for the summer and start budgeting and getting into like, how is this going to work and where are we going to go and like, what are we going to do and what are we going to eat, right? Like, not so much the travel in and of itself, but what are we going to experience when we're there? What are we going to bring back with us? Souvenirs, right? But the main thing is also planning and finances. You're not going to have fun on a vacation that you've not budgeted for, right? And so Taurus in Mercury could show up for you in that way. It could also show up for you in just thinking more about your home base, because when it comes to Taurus, we are dealing with earthy energy, right? So it is material things. So if you've been needing to do something in your home, or, maybe you're thinking about selling your home or buying a home, these are really, really big things. And there's a lot of mental, processing that goes through in that with Mercury. But the nice thing is that Taurus isn't really looking to play any tricks. It's not really looking to imbue illusions onto you. So, lean on this Taurus energy here a little bit, just to maybe, I guess, feel your way through whatever situation that it is that you're dealing with. Now, in this particular chart for Dayton, Ohio, the 11th house is what is housing all of this Taurus energy. So if you're in this area and you're experiencing this in real time, the 11th house is friendships. It is actually the place where Uranus loves to be, funny enough. But again, we are in Taurus energy here. So the 11th house of friendships and social systems and dynamics, maybe this would be a really great time to reach out to an old friend, an old coworker, someone that you've not connected with in a really long time, but who made a really significant, sustainable impact on your life. Mercury is communication and idea sharing. And, maybe you have a new idea for something related to these Venusian things in your life. I will say, however, that because we're dealing with Taurus energy, this is oppositional to Scorpio. And that Scorpio-Taurus axis is a big, big deal for this year. Big. I'm definitely going to be linking some information in the show notes about that. But we currently have the moon in Scorpio. And this is oppositional, meaning it's creating an exact opposite position to this Mercury in Taurus. What does that mean? Well, when we have an opposition between the sun and Mercury, right, our emotions and our sense of intuition kind of conflicting with earthy enjoyment, we may be just having a hard time expressing the way that we feel about something, particularly something that's sensitive. And the way that this chart is set up, the moon in Scorpio is in the 5th house of creativity and passion. So, sometimes whenever we're feeling like we need to create something or we want to create something, and there's kind of like a mental block, like writer's block, that could definitely be how some of this energy shows up for people. So if you are feeling some kind of creative block at this time, it's not going to last, but while you're in it, this is a great time to maybe just take account of the material things that are surrounding you, right? Do you have books that you can read? Do you have other, cards that you can pull? Do you have people that you can talk to? Just pulling in some of those resources to help you navigate, whatever blockages that you may be feeling. And if they are very personal, Scorpio moons are very personal people and don't like to share, dive into that journal, bust out that journal, write some poems, pull out your paint some paintings. Taurus loves to experience things very through the senses. So, if you're not someone that finds yourself particularly creative, in an artistic way, maybe this would be a really nice day to just make yourself a good, healthy, nourishing meal, like a big dressed to the nines salad or something. Just something that feels good And who knows what kind of inspiration and creativity can come from just nourishing your body and reconnecting with your senses. You may find a flood of inspiration comes out of that. So that is all I have for you today, is our Taurus card. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to check out the show notes. I will include a bunch of links to some really great blogs and possibly some other information if I can find it. But in the meantime, take care of yourself, take care of others, be kind, and I'll see you next week for another reading. Bye.